Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Corecast with me. Today I have my co-host Bulby. Say hi.
Yo,
And I also have two special guests here today. We have Lumos and we have Streak.
Yo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And today is episode 2, and today we're all going to be talking about the forward position and the Texas land that just happened, the CECC land that just happened. And Lumos was a part of that, so we can hear from his experience there too. So let's get started with introductions. So Lumos, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I've been playing the game for about 2 years now. I've played a lot of pre-alpha stuff, pre-alpha testing, a lot of beta. Usually high ranked in it, sometimes not. We don't think about those parts, but yeah, I've been playing at a high level this entire time, and I'm trying to continue playing at a high level. So
Awesome, awesome. All right, Streak.
All right, hi. So I'm pretty similar to Lumos. I started playing the game way back in December of 2020. I've basically always been hovering somewhere around the top, but really it was after the beta of the game that I started like playing really seriously. At that point, I was always like in the top ranks and won quite a few or got like pretty high place at most of the major tournaments in the beta. And now after the launch of the game, I'm sitting in the top 10 for the ladder in North America, and I'm focusing on content creation over on YouTube and live streaming on Twitch.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get started. Let's talk about the beta, because you guys both said that you were both with pretty high ranks in the beta. How you liking the changes from the beta to the present day release patches? Because right now, back in the beta, you had like a rune page, like kind of in like League of Legends, where you can select like, oh, which runes do you think could be the best for this character, and then you bring it in, and at level 1 you're basically fully powered up. But here on release, it's kind of different, because at the start of the match you can choose between one of two randoms, and then it goes into like a draft format for every set. So how are you liking the differences? Do you want to go back? What's your opinion about that?
All right, sure. So, yeah, back in the beta, you had the training system, which was you just pick three trainings before going into a game, and at that point, it was just one singular set of first to five and win by two. And games were a lot shorter back then. So now we have, 20, 30-minute games pretty commonly. Back then, games where it was rare to see a game go over 10 minutes back then. But now we also have, in my opinion, I think a lot more complexity and depth and variation, which are all good for the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, Lumost.
yeah. So whenever I've been asked this a lot, so the game's like kind of like a new game with the changes. I mean, it's not entirely because the core identity is still there, but basically the new changes change the game drastically to make it feel like a new game. But I think it's for the best because while you might be stuck in a game for 30 minutes, you actually get some depth and you actually have some like choices in what your build is. You don't just like pick the best build that you googled 3 minutes ago and just run with it. So I'm
Exactly.
really
Yeah,
enjoying it.
I think the changes are all really good. It's not perfect yet. Like there's still some pretty big problems with some of the changes, but for the most part, I think it was an improvement over what was in the beta.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoy it, and I think Vaughn made a good point that some trainings just shouldn't be infinite. Like, there's no way Atlas should get last place, and then there should just be infinite twin drive, and he gets it no matter what. Like, I think maybe it's like twin drive in prime time, and then I don't really know
Yeah,
what
I
else,
mean,
but I think those two should not be infinite uh
ge-
trainings. But that's just my
generally,
opinion.
yeah, the Infinite Awakening thing is probably the biggest problem with the whole system right now. Like, either it shouldn't exist and it should just be a pick from 8 awakenings, in my opinion. In which
Mhm.
case, because right now with the Infinite Awakening, it removes so much skill and creates such a like a I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here or not, but
Go
BS
ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
such a
We don't
BS
give a shit.
a BS mechanic for catching up when like you don't really deserve it. And
Yeah.
aside from that, it's like games where you start with like Unstoppable or Stagger Swagger or Stacks or just things that like it's usually okay when one people have it, but it's when six people have it that it starts getting really unhealthy and the game starts breaking down that it's
Yeah,
not
or
very
all
fun in my
6 start with
opinion.
prime time, and there's
Yeah.
2 Kais holding every goal, and it's
Mhm.
too hard to score.
Exactly.
Is a bit rough, but those changes aren't like anything too hard, and they do listen to the community, so it's not like impossible. Like we don't have to be like, oh, this is just part of the game. Hopefully they'll listen about at least part like the more parts that everyone has a consensus on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because if
Yeah.
they get rid of that infinite on the bottom right, then it's just gonna add more to the skill level. Because then you could be like, oh, well, there's twin drive up, and we don't want the Atlas to get it, so we should just have like somebody else to grab it real quick.
Like the whole background on why the infinite thing even exists is it so that that there's 6 people in the round and there's 8 picks, and it's for that like really low probability chance where 5 other people pick, and then you're left with 3 awakenings that like
Don't function on your
two of them
character.
two of them don't function on you, and then it feels really bad. But
Yeah, but it's
I
like
don't know.
just don't get last place. Wow.
Kinda, yeah. It's that, and just
Uh,
it's a pretty unlucky situation when it happens, or it's like you could make the Infinite Awakening something that like is pretty applicable to everyone, but isn't something like very impactful, like a worse version of a Spark or something, where it's just like
yeah,
Yeah.
a flat stat boost.
Mhm.
that yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Alright, so we talked a little bit about the beta to now, but what about let's talk about like the different types of forward play styles because not for because there's like a few forwards that I've been noticing like Juno and Rune where you can just like trick up with the enemy with the puck with the core, excuse me, by just throwing out your blobs and be like, oh, where's it going? Where's it going? Meanwhile, you have people like X and Juliet that will just run up at you and punch you in the face and disturb your game plan. Uh, when which ones do you think will be like the best? Like, will we have like a double trickster meta, or will they always have double ballers? Like, what's your take on that?
Uh,
Or like, will it always be one midfielder and one brawler, basically?
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
should have said.
Yeah,
I think this
so
is more Lumos expertise.
yeah, I I've been cooking up some comps. I'm trying to make some comps for NACL. But basically,
In
if you
ACL.
want to win the game, you want one midfielder, one brawler. There's some funny comps where you go double midfielder, and 2 brawlers can work, kinda, if you get stacks and stacks starting. But basically, as a forward, you need someone to play the midfield position. That is the most important role in the game right now. And if you don't have it, you're probably gonna lose unless you absolutely just like kill them within 5 seconds. But that never happens in high elo.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like Lumos says, double brawler doesn't like. Okay, so I think in an ideal state, midfielder plus like scorer brawler is always the best.
Mm.
When the game is working properly, that's how it should be. When you get into double brawler territory being like viable, like back in the beta, it's usually a problem of it's way too easy to kill people, or controlling the core doesn't matter because if they kill you, they still have enough abilities to score.
yeah,
And it's kind of the opposite with core control, like pure core control comps, where like you have like a Juno and a Rune on your team. It's like it's too hard to kill people, so that it doesn't matter if people like
Yeah, you can
if they dump everything
control the
on
core
you.
all you want, but if you're not gonna score or kill people, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so it's like midfielder plus brawler is that middle ground, and of course there's like variations in that where we see something like Drakkar in the midfield where he's like
Yeah.
kind of both midfielder and brawler.
Would you guys
So
put Rasmus in the same category as Drakkar, where he's like half and half, basically?
Yeah, kinda.
kinda. I think Rasmus is more special than that. I think Rasmus can actually be played like fully as a
As a
like a
scorer.
forward or a
Yeah.
midfielder
Really?
depending on what you need. And
I
you
heard
can like switch him around mid game on what you need him to do.
I feel like everyone has different opinions on Rasmus. Some people say only play him if it's Amy's map, and some people say no, he's viable on every map. People just aren't good at him yet. Do you guys have an opinion on that?
I mean,
Like,
just
do you
watch
think?
Bells. He can play him
Yeah,
really well on every map.
that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it's a map specific pick at all. I think I don't think he's like a must pick or quote unquote meta, but he's still good. He provides good
sure.
value on a lot of maps. But
I
how
think just
Bells?
like high
Yes.
forward, sorry, is being played in like the land and stuff and being made work if you know what comp you're going to be against, there's definitely room for it because it's not like when tier lists are made in this game, it's not like the B and C tier characters are so much worse than the S. It's just like the S and A tiers have a lot going for them, so they can just do jobs better. But you can you can always make the B and C tiers work, it seems, with the I'd say the game is balanced enough for that to be the case.
I
Yeah.
mean, the thing with tier lists is like in an ideal universe where everyone is plays perfectly on every character and every
Yeah.
map and every situation is the same, the tier list holds. But
Sure.
the problem is
Yeah.
that that's not a thing.
And that'll never be a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it can get close, but everyone always makes mistakes, and then in tournaments, everyone's nervous, and there's always better comps uh, based on what your enemy's playing and stuff. So I agree, it's never really the case.
Yeah. So this podcast is usually tend towards like the people who are just starting to get into mega strikers and people who so like basically new people. So what pos- so what position excuse me. What should the midfield and the forward really be doing? Should the just midfield be really focused on core control while the forward just punches the goalie, or what's your take on that?
Yeah, so I think that's a mistake a lot of new players make is if they're playing like your primary stuffer, they're always sitting on the goalie and just trying to that's all they care about. But what you have to do as your primary scorer is you have to be in positions that your midfielder can actually get the ball to you because that's all that matters. Like you can get a kill all you want, but if your midfielder cannot get the ball to you, you're never gonna score.
Yeah,
So what you have to do in positioning is you're trying to play like a 1-1-1, get through the next guy kind of comp a lot of the time, where the goalie clears it to the midfielder ish, and the midfielder clears it to the forward ish, and the forward kind of scores it ish. Like there's a lot of um, in between states that exist, and a lot of variations on how you should play in some moments, but that's the general idea.
yeah.
yeah,
It's like just because you're a midfielder doesn't mean you're always AFK on your side of the field or in the middle, and then just because you're a forward doesn't mean you never come back and help your team. It's
Yeah,
you kind
the
of do have to share the responsibility across the field.
And I think the biggest thing is passing back and forth. Like once you're up at the goalie against good goalies, you can't just push it right through them like maybe some low elo goalies. You have to like pass it back and forth and sometimes wait for cooldowns, but and really just look for your openings, but it's not so simple as to just force it through exactly where the goalie's standing every time. But
Exactly.
so yeah, like it's usually 1-1-1, but once you're up there, there's different situations in every game, and you'll probably have to pass back and forth if you want to get it through the better goalies for sure.
yeah. Plus you're getting
And
a little XP when doing that too by passing it back and forth.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
XP is not real.
XP's the state of mind.
And the other big thing is core chasing, of course, where you don't want to always be running after the core, right? You want to
Yeah,
be in a position where you
Be
can you
passed.
basically want to be into a position where you can do things, even though that's like a
hmm
very vague answer.
yeah. Sometimes
It's the
trust your
correct
goalie.
answer.
Sure. Yeah, sometimes you trust your goalie, and sometimes you need to be in a spot where you can be passed to, because if not, your team's just hitting it to the enemy. You're not accomplishing much, but if you're open, at least you can get the core and go for a goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's different maps on Omega Strikers. Like on Oni's Village, it's a really bigger map and it's a little bit harder to get kills on than say Amy's app where you could just play Rasmus and you just all everyone into the hole in the middle. So the question is, how important is it to like know characters and like to switch their position because we were talking about Rasmus earlier and how he could be both a forward and a midfielder, but how about characters that could like change their complete play style based on map? Yeah,
Uh, yeah, this is an interesting question because while I think some characters are better on some maps, a lot of picks aren't map dependent. Rasmus, of course, is better, but I feel like a lot of the times you really don't pick for the map. You pick for the awakenings, and you think about the map like third in your list of priorities because it's like it's comp, awakenings, then map. That's your prio for how you pick. Optimally, of course. There's of course personal preference, but
I kind of
it's
agree with Lumos, but also at the same time, like there are certain things where just
there are
on a
yeah.
certain map where like it's just going to be better than on other maps.
Mm,
I think a big example of this was back before Asher got her primary like size stuff nerfed. Is that you would just like pick her on Oni Village as a goalie, and you would just be an unscorable god.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like
And
Luma said, I think a lot of it comes down more to your team comp, the enemy team comp, who you're playing against, and the starting awakenings.
yeah, I think there's only a few instances where it's like Luna on Atlas's lab that's really good, just how she synergizes with the black hole and nuking people and keeping their spark down because they have to evasive her ult and everything. And then like Atlas is better at uh holding the barriers on some maps, and then there's like Dubu's usually not played, but on Amy's map he's pretty good because you can legit kill people in the hole and hold down the one barrier pretty well. So there's like some niche ones, but I'd say for the most part you can pick basically any character on any map. It is really more about your comp and your the first awakening being useful on the character you're playing.
Mm.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Mm,
even if we consider like saying that when we say like a character's better on a certain map, it's like 99% of the time it won't matter until you're
Yeah,
in the top 1%.
yeah. It's
that's
such a
very fair.
minute advantage most of the time.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I,
Yeah, just getting good at the character you're playing is what newer players should be focused on. Like just
Exactly.
mastering your one or two characters at the start.
yeah, should people one trick when starting out?
No. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of it does stem from the fact that I think it hurts you down the line. It can get you like probably to gold if you're a good player if you just one trick. But if you actually want to climb to high elo, you need to focus on playing your role and not a character.
I
Mm.
agree with Lumos. I think one tricking is a good way to maybe learn the game at the start, but overall it will hurt you more than help you.
Yeah, and striking is really the most important thing in my opinion. So if you can get good at striking while using your one trick in the beginning and then just use your skills to uh, move over to other characters that pertain to your role, it's not too hard to learn the rest of the characters unless it's like Rune or something. Like if you go from Estelle to Era or Juno or something, it's really not too hard.
Hmm.
I would recommend one tricking a role though. Like I wouldn't. I don't recommend playing flex when you're just starting out, unless
Yeah.
you're just trying to figure out which role you like more. I think you want to start with one role and then later on, if you want, learn another.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
there's enough characters to have fun in each role while switching through, I'd say.
Alright.
Yeah.
So now that we talked about all the forward, let's talk about the LAN that just happened, the CECC LAN and Lumos. We know you got seventh because that was like a Twitch title for the past week.
It still is, and it will be today.
But let's talk about your experience. Like, how was it? Did you like meeting everyone? What was the venue like?
Yeah, so it was really interesting, the venue, because it was basically the culmination of like a lot of collegiate leagues. But of course, we weren't collegiate players. Half of us aren't even in college. So, like, we were just in a back corner of like your classic esports arena in like what would be like a PC PC cafe setup ish. It was like the player pits.
Hmm.
We had like 30 PCs ish to just play Omega Strikers. So it was kind of weird
Nice.
because it was like there's a main stage going on about a different game that we weren't even caring about, and we were just in the corner playing omegastrikers. But in terms of actually meeting people, it was really nice to meet everyone, put a face to a name. Um,
Was there anyone you sad you didn't get to meet or didn't
um,
show up?
I don't know. I feel like I talked to basically everyone there. I didn't talk to Elo. I probably should talk to.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, but like anyone you wish went to the LAN that didn't.
Uh, I mean, Street.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wish I could have gone to the
Aw,
LAN.
wholesome.
he's too busy grinding out the YouTube videos.
Very
Nah, it's just
true.
an unlucky Canada moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, huh? Oh, do you not have a passport or it's just
No,
too
no, it's just
far and
it's
expensive?
It's so far,
yeah, the
yeah.
second
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's sad how expensive traveling is, but
I
hopefully.
think it would have basically been like more expensive than if I was to even win first place.
Wow.
Oh,
Probably.
jeez.
I at least had some hope with my cost of the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, how'd you like the format where it's a double elimination best of one? Should they have made it to a best of three? And what about? Yeah, we'll just leave it on that.
So honestly, if it was a best of three, it would not have worked because of
It
just
would have
time.
taken way too long, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Million years.
we literally we started 2 hours late, 3 hours late actually, two or
Wow.
three
Oh
hours
wow.
late because of the CEC had to run their other brackets that they didn't finish yesterday for some reason. And when we left at like 9, literally the entirety of the rest of the arena was being packed up like as we left.
Wow.
So like the event was closed technically, and it was just all the OS guys playing while the rest of the staff cleaned up everything else. So like we were on borrowed time already with the format we did.
Wow. That's pretty interesting.
Would you ever want it for like a if it was like the a big tournament finals though? Would
World
you
Championships.
mind if it
Yeah.
was like a whole weekend, so it's like two longer days that are best of threes, or is that would that still be just too long and exhausting?
No, I actually think that like with something like Nassau coming up, where playoffs can last longer than one day, and like the season lasts longer one day, like I
Hmm.
think BO3s are the play when you can make that time. But
Yeah,
if it's just one tournament, one day, go
sure.
BO1s and then BO3 grands, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I guess this is a good time to ask, Chad. I'll just ask, what are your guys' opinions on the NASL starting so early? I've heard mixed. I talked to my friend Gravity, and he was like really fighting for them to push it back so other people would have a chance. And then I heard like Vaughn's opinion. He's like, well, not to be mean, but you guys wouldn't have had a chance in 2 months anyway. So it is
What
what it
does
is.
starting so early mean? Like,
So like the like as in if like a
2 weeks
release,
after
yeah.
release.
So someone really liked the game and wanted to compete, but they just started on the 27th when the game released. Like they basically don't have a chance, is what we're saying. So do you think it's too early, or the league is mainly for the beta players that want to compete?
I mean, I think that's kind of just by the nature of like it's since it's the only league, it's going to just be the highest elo players that are mainly in it probably.
Yeah.
Like, if you want a league for the newer players, you'd have to like make one that's limited to the lower ranks. I
Yeah,
Hmm.
and that still
Which is
stands. Yeah,
hard
Which I
to
think I think it's perfectly. I think
yeah.
there should be a league for the lower ranks, but
the
Like
sh-
yeah, do you think any people would abuse and just like use a Smurf and say they're lower than they are, or
I mean, I don't think
probably. But like, I think our community's small enough right
yeah,
now that we can
yeah,
self-police
you can,
usually.
yeah, I think it'd be doable. Yeah, because some people have names off and like I'm sure you two can like tell you're like, oh, that's this person like while playing them because even I can do that with some people. It's just,
Yeah.
but yeah. It it's really not that big a deal. It's just kind of sad for someone like me who's decent in beta, but I don't have enough time to like have a chance to play against these players
I
that
mean,
are
hopefully,
have
if
played
the
so
game
long.
takes off, it lets them put more into these kinds of things and
Hmm.
expand the whole competitive
Yeah,
scene.
we just have to hope it goes well and the viewership is good for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what's your opinion about map picking? Should we have it later on in the should we be able to map pick in future competitive tournaments, or just let it be random?
We should have had it on lunch, man. But it really wouldn't have, I'm gonna be honest, as I said, maps do like matter, but not too much. I think it would
I
just
mean,
bring some strategy.
I
So it
personally
would have been
don't
nice
really
to have.
think being able to pick maps is a good thing in this game.
Mm.
Like,
And then how would it work if it was best of ones? Like
You
did
just
teams just
RNG.
50-50 it? Like,
it would probably be like each team bans a team and then it's RNG, or bans a map and then it's RNG for
oh,
the rest.
okay.
Yeah.
But like, I don't
Interesting.
know. I don't think map bans are a great thing in this game because I think it just means like you don't have to learn how to play a certain map. And I don't. It's not
Yeah.
like I don't really think it's like that. Where like a certain team is like, oh, I really want this map. I like we're so advantaged on this map. Like,
Mhm. If you're the best player, you
Yeah,
should know how
it's
to play on each one. So,
and more that
exactly.
maps aren't that big of a deal.
I love
yeah.
map selection and customs just to like
For
be able to
fun, yeah.
actually pick
Yeah.
pick what map you play on.
Practice
But
it.
like,
Hmm.
Um, lumost, did you meet up with the IOL Dubu?
Oh yeah, Net. Yeah, I talked to Net a bit. It was met up like I don't know. It was like 9 hours long, so you basically met everyone there, and
Except Elo.
except Elo.
what happened there?
Ah,
I don't know, man. I just didn't see him for a while, and then I played him, and I lost, and then I got XDD'd, and uh, just watched the rest of the games and didn't talk to him.
it would have been
Damn.
it would have been funny because I know I saw you know when Dubu presses his E, he throws out a giant log. I've seen an inflatable version of that log somewhere, and it would have been funny if Net brought it out and just throws it at people.
I mean, their costume was like mostly handcrafted, which was kind of sick.
Yeah, it looked amazing when I saw it.
Oh, and I had another question about tournaments. What is this omegastrikers Pro Invitational? I saw you were on a team for that, Lumos.
Oh, well, I guess yeah, I'm not real. So
Oh,
it's
is that
literally I
secret?
no, I don't think it's too
Okay.
secret, but it's literally just um,
I think
it's
your
a
team got revealed
tournament.
anyway.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
team got revealed anyway. So
I found out.
it's basically just a tournament where you
Hmm.
play the meta roster, not the meta, the lore rosters,
Oh,
and that's it.
Oh.
That's the entire tournament. You play
It's
the
just
lore
for
okay.
fun,
rosters.
right? Or is there like a
Yeah.
prize?
I don't think there's a prize. I have not
You
been notified of a prize, so it's
hmm.
just vibing.
The
You guys
Glory
got like a
appointed.
cool logo and stuff though. It
Yeah,
looks
because
pretty fun.
those are the official
Those
logos
are the
that
Oh,
lore
start the
logos.
game. Yeah,
oh, I
Yeah.
see. I
I
didn't know that.
pre-create.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I can give the tweet to chat. You can link it for people to see in the video because
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, they could literally make a like if they had like the budget, make a whole anime with that studio for this game, I'm sure, and it could actually go hard, but
There's
that,
Yeah.
no way they have enough
yeah, no,
There's
to
that
do
no way they
that.
have
to
enough money,
fund
man.
that, yeah.
I
And
imagine even just the like 1 minute 30-second
yeah,
trailer
it
costs like
was
$1 billion.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably maybe even in the like literally a million, like that shit's expensive. So,
But was it
but
worth it?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that trailer is hype. I really enjoyed it.
That
Yeah.
song's hype too.
Yeah, the song.
Dude, I was
I,
playing
I
it for
re
like an hour straight once.
I'm not a huge soundtrack person, but I do like the tracks and all the maps in this game. They're pretty like uh I don't know, exciting is the word, but they go with the gameplay pretty well. So,
Yeah, all
Mhm.
the music is good except for Luna and Juno's theme.
Juno. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I don't know the
I
themes by heart.
I still don't like Juliet themed Jap vocals, but that's a different that's me being weird.
Oh. Alright, one last thing before talking about the land, then we can wrap it up. The sad boys aren't really sad anymore. They won the entire thing. Congrats to them.
Yeah, Parker
Yeah,
really carried it, I'm
congrats
not
to
gonna
them.
lie. But congrats to them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like Sad Boys is like every single time it's like a different team plus Vaughn. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
It's not really like Sad Boys, but
yeah, we eventually will actually have teams that last for longer than a week, man. Holy.
yeah. I think roster mania happens in most games, and with 3 people, it's really easy to just jump around. So, but hopefully, there can be some more like, uh, teams that stay together, and then there's like some storylines like, oh, these guys lost to them every time, and then in this big tournament they won. It was sick and
I
stuff like
think
that. So,
at this point, the longest standing team is mine, actually.
Yeah,
Mira
oh,
it
into the Elo.
is. Yeah, you're into Yellow, yeah.
And it was like old Hamster Quest and Orbits before that.
Yeah, Quest
yeah.
Esports and Orbits was the longest before that. Orbits lasted. I mean, if you include Alpha, then it's long, but also there's only
Yeah.
like 2 tournaments between Alpha.
Um, yeah, Lewis, I want to ask you about that. Is it like disheartening seeing Ginger Pop come back just to be on a totally different team, or is like it totally whatever?
Damn, you hit him right in the feels. You didn't have to
Is
go with
that is
that.
that is that a deep question?
I've actually been asked this a lot. You'd be
Oh, okay.
surprised.
I
But
sorry if it was too far. I don't know.
no, no, it's not too
Deep
far.
question. Okay.
So like I haven't really talked about it with him a lot, but basically my understanding is he before lunch, like in February, he said he's probably not competing with the game because he didn't like how
Hmm.
internal tests were going. And that was entirely fair. So I went and joined Quest to get a team for the LAN because I wanted to go to the
Yeah,
LAN.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I technically I did have plans to stay with Quest longer than I have, but um while I was on Quest, he actually wanted to compete again, or at least try to compete, because he's what, like top 10 again right now,
Something like
because
that.
something like that, top
I think he
20.
was like exactly 10. Yeah,
Yeah.
last I checked.
But he's been enjoying the game a lot, so I assume he's just wanted to compete, and the Vaughn and Bells needed a forward, so
Yeah,
he's
it's probably
probably
just
asked him.
a easy option. Yeah,
Yeah, so like
sure.
I don't hold anything against him. I don't
Yeah,
think he did
things
anything
like that.
wrong.
You can't get that
Yeah,
mad at people. He's
because
like,
like
okay, decide to compete again. Okay, got good
yeah.
offer. I'll take it. It's
Well,
not.
it's that he decided to compete again, and I was already on a team. Like I was already
Yeah.
committed. I don't think
And
like
Geek is in the West League as a
yeah. And Geek
forward.
Geek is in the
Yeah.
West
Oh,
League.
he's forward?
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh, him and Resurrect are cooking up an idea. I'm not gonna leak it, but it's gonna be
Oh,
very funny.
wait. Can you say their team at least? Is that
It's
Uh
Geek. Wait, I don't know if I know it, but I don't know if I can say it.
yeah. I don't know
okay?
who's that.
Well, okay. Don't say it
It's
then.
it's it's
But yeah.
Geek.
Okay. It's geek forward.
Wait, Lewis, are you on a team yet for the league yet? I actually
Bro, I
don't know.
literally got my team yesterday.
I know, and
Um,
I am on it. No, I'm just kidding.
no. So right now, I'm on a team with Borg, Silent, and Slop.
Okay.
Oh, you want Borg's team? We played
Wait,
him in the last
Is
tournament.
Borg a sub?
Borg, yeah, Borg's the fourth man.
I see.
Yeah. So I actually literally last night I did quote unquote tryouts for the Puffy Barcode team. I went with Joker instead, but it's chill. Um, and yeah, and then Daff reached out to me earlier today, but he just needed a sub.
So are you open to playing both roles? Because you do play both forward roles. But I know you're like primarily a midfielder. What's
Lumos is
So
primarily
no,
a
yeah,
Oh,
competitively,
scorer
yeah,
brawler.
oh,
competitively
really?
I play stuffer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Yeah.
yeah,
so is that? Oh no, yeah, I knew that. Okay, yeah, I just mixed it up. But
yeah,
okay, and that's what you're doing on your team.
yeah. I'm the
So
primary
is Silent Mains Amy and
era
He's a
and
midfielder.
Aaron,
midfielder.
Estelle? Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
okay,
midfielder.
interesting. That I mean
So
that should be good. Slop's insane. So and Silent
I
beat
pray for your
us
mental,
yesterday. Yeah,
Lumos.
yeah. That's probably the biggest part. But I believe in you. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, East
should
qualifiers
be
are gonna
fine.
be kind of tight. I think like I mean, who do you have getting in? I mean, there's a lot of teams, but I think there's like easily a top six, right? If I look at the roster
I think the
paper.
top six is probably pretty decided already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking through it. Like there's one, two, three,
Are the teams are there a full list of teams like public
four.
yet?
Well,
Not that I
there's
know.
the start at GG that has all the teams that are
Uh,
competing. So far, like there's at least I think there's at least like 4 teams that are like basically guaranteed in,
Probably, yeah.
and like you might get 2 from Randomville or people that are good, and then I'm just like missing their team.
Yo,
So
PP gang will smurf if they're in
PP
it.
gang or
PP.
Casuals. But like actually speaking, it's like Comeback Kings Core Overflow, Silly Goofy Cats, um and whatever my team name is. I don't know. I did not make it.
Slops team. You're doomed to
Slops
just be
team.
called Slops team forever.
Yeah, Slops team forever. Like
Dot silence lumosters.
oh no,
Or
it's
quiet,
worse.
sorry.
It's like dot team name for Saya dot, but it's spelled with leet speak, kinda halfway. Yeah,
Interesting.
but yeah, I think Nassau East has like 4 teams that are probably guaranteed in, and like 2 spots that are actually going to be competing with like lower like other teams like some John Fortnighters or Hook Reset Shiros.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be fun.
Sadly, Bobby's West Coast and I'm East Coast, so
L.
I know.
Yeah. There's a world I get on a West Coast
I mean,
team, maybe.
you guys can play on the same team technically in this in the
Oh,
league.
Wait,
You can
yeah,
have a West
you
West
can-
Coaster on
yeah.
an East team and then one East
Yeah.
on a West.
Do a little bit of importing.
West Coast is supposedly easier, so there's
well,
a world, or not supposedly. I guess everyone's saying that, but
let me tell my mom
yeah,
I'm
we'll see
flying
what
to
happens.
West Coast real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for hopping on for episode 2. If you wanted to plug anything, shout out anything, any upcoming projects, the floor is all yours.
Thank you guys for having us. Check out my Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah,
links
I
will
want
be
to
in the description.
congratulate you on your YouTube because like I watched it the first day and you're like less than 100 or less than 200 subs, and then I looked today and it's like at 2K. You're popping off.
Yeah, dude.
Best
I
in
just
the
only
Nice.
hope
nation.
the game
It's
keeps
so true.
growing so that I can keep growing
Yeah,
and the
basically.
community with it.
I think you're now like what the highest subscribed.
I think I'm
like,
officially
dedicated.
the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, dedicated OS content creator on YouTube
Huge.
Yeah,
because OSN.
my girlfriend was watching you, and then she saw the Amy Goalie video and was like, wait, I know that X player.
Yeah, you were my first video. That was a highlight.
Aw, I feel special now. Alright, Lumos, you got any upcoming projects, things you want to shout out?
I mean, not really. I just stream daily, kinda, and that's about it. It's just for such as EV/Lumos with a 0.
Link will be in the description below.
Mhm.
But yeah, that concludes episode 2. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you on episode 3.